Hello everyone, my name is Nancy Ellen and this is the Crafty Yarn Barn. Welcome to my channel. I'm so excited about teaching you something new today. I'm all about making pom-poms right now. I found this cool little pom-pom maker at the store this past week. You can look at the description below and you can get that link on that pom-pom maker for that video link. So I'm super excited about it. And I was needing a little bit smaller pom-poms than what that pom-pom maker would create. So I was thinking about it after looking at the whole makeup of that little pom-pom maker. It's like, I think I could figure out a way to make some smaller pom-poms. So all I used was a fork, some scissors, and some yarn. And I made these darling little pom-poms. See that? Little baby blue. I had some green yarn, some brown yarn. These two are some worsted weight. This is the Caron Simply Soft right here. It's a little bit a softer little pom-pom. Feels a little not as rough as that worsted weight yarn feels. And they are just so cute, so darling. And I decided to go ahead and make a quick little video to show you how I made these. So let's head on up to the craft room and I'm going to give you a little close-up tutorial how to make these darling little sweet tiny little pom-poms. So let's go. So this is all you need. You need some yarn, a fork, and some scissors to make these cute little pom-poms. So let's get started. The first step is take your yarn, hold your fork to the side, and you're going to wrap your yarn around this fork. I found that after making several with this fork and the width of this fork, about 23 times, 24 times is how many times that I wrapped my yarn around to get the pom-pom this dense. I like how this looks, how tight and dense and puffy that pom-pom is. So after experimenting a few times, that's what I came up with. Depends on the size of your fork and your weight of yarn. You may need to make several in order to determine how tight and what type of look you like for your pom-poms. So let me show you the techniques. I got my yarn and I've wrapped it around the fork. And I'm going to go, like I said, about 23 times. Get the yarn on there and start wrapping. And then I can let it go once I get it started. And what you need to do is leave a gap between the top of your fork here and your bundle of yarn, because you're going to tie it off using that gap. Now I'm going to take my scissors and cut the yarn, and I'm just going to sit it down gently here where it stays wrapped around that fork. And I'm going to get a string of yarn about 12 inches long or so. I like mine to be a little longer because it all depends on the project that you're going to create with these little pom-poms. You may need this long yarn in order to sew in your pom-pom to your project. And if you have any left over later, you can just cut it off and throw it away. Put it in your recycle bag. So you're going to take your yarn, your string, and you're going to stick it in that hole there in between your yarn bundle and your fork, that little space that's left. And you're going to take that string and you're going to pull it through the gap of these middle two prongs. Do you see? And that's where you're going to tie it off. And the key to making these pom-poms is to make sure that yarn is pulled really, really tight when you tie it off right here. I found after making several that I like to go twice. Wrap it through twice. Get a really tight knot and wrap around that bundle there. Keep those pom-poms secure. So pull it through again. And I'm going to wrap it around. So I wrapped mine twice. Now you've got your string and you're going to pull it tight. I'm going to put my hand here on my fork, hold that still, and I'm going to squeeze that yarn as tight as I possibly can, and I'm going to tie my knot. So the first one I made, I did not tie it so tight, And after I cut and trimmed and made my little pom-pom, it all fell apart. So I think this is the real key to making sure your pom-pom little strings are secure and your pom-pom stays together. So pull it really tight. Now I'm going to slide it gently off the fork. Lay the fork aside, and you see these little loops that were on your fork? You're going to take your scissors and slide it in, pull it tight, and you're just going to cut the tops of those loops. You're going to stick the little bottom of your scissors through the loops, and you're going to cut. And there's no more loops here to cut. Now I'm going to turn it over and get the other side, stick my scissors in those loops, and I'm just going to cut. There, I believe that's all done. These are two pieces that were hanging off there. Now here's my long string. I want to make sure I don't get that in the way of those scissors. And now we're going to trim up our pom-pom, make it nice and pretty and round. So I get my thumb and my forefinger. I'm going to take this long string and hold it back here out of the way. Take my thumb and my forefinger or middle finger. Get that out of the way. I don't want to cut those strings. And I'm going to squeeze that pom-pom tight. And I'm just going to trim it up and make it round looking. Get all them little edges off there that are long and sticking out. And we're just rounding up our little pom-pom, making it look like a little ball. Cutting off any stragglers, any fuzzies, any long pieces that we don't want sticking out. Be careful of your long string now. If you cut that off, you won't have anything to sew your little pom-pom onto your project with. Now I did that the first time, so lesson learned there. But thank goodness this is just a fun little project. Now, I'm going to take it, fluff it up a little bit, and now I'm going to turn it over to the other side and squeeze that on that side and cut off, round it up. Get all the little yarn that sticks out further than everybody else. Trim that away. Keep my long string out of the way. Shake it off now. Get the fuzzies, and now I'm going to hold it up and see if I see anything that I want trimmed off that I might have missed. That kind of got squished in there while I was trimming. Isn't that darling? That's going to look so cute either on a pillow or on a little baby hat or some baby booties. And there you go. Cute little pom-pom, tiny little. And here's the brown one. Here's a blue one I made. Here's another white one. Simple as that. Have fun crafting and crocheting and playing with your yarn. Have a great, blessed day, and I look forward to giving you some more tips and tricks and fun projects to make in the future. So have a wonderful, blessed day. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments or questions, put those down below, and I will get back with you. And signing off until next time.